Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. You know, what really stands out to me that there are so many reputable chart analysts with great track records who insist that at the bare minimum, XRP is going to hit at least $10, but they actually believe it's more probable that XRP is going to be exceeding $20 this market cycle. And so out of the analysts that I follow on the low end, you'll see maybe somewhere around like $8 on the low end. That's pretty close to the lowest that I've seen, somewhere around there. And on the higher end, you see some people talking about over 30, maybe 40 bucks, somewhere up in there. And I'm skeptical of both extremes, frankly. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not making a price prediction. That's just not my shtick. I don't do that. I'm not a chart analyst myself. But what I do tend to find is that the truth is typically somewhere in the middle. And so even if it's just 15 to 20 bucks, like one analyst I'll show you early on in the video says that it's likely that XRP is going to end up in the $15 to $20 range. That would be life-changing for so many people. And we're going to look back on this price of XRP under $3, and in the future, people are just going to wish that they had known about XRP so they could have bought it this cheap. So I don't know if it seems cheap to you right now or not, but to people in the future, it's going to. I can pretty well assure you of that. So I'm going to share with you some of the latest perspectives from a number of chart analysts, but before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, it is 3:25 a.m. Central Time, so it is now Sunday, July 13th, 2025. XRP is back where it belongs, in that number 3 spot in market cap, although I think pretty soon there's a chance it's going to belong in that number 2 spot. Wouldn't be surprised if that happens based on historic precedent. XRP has been number 2 in market cap on several occasions. So given that this market's about to get even more hot than it already is, this would be the time where you would expect XRP to start coming after Ethereum here. But anyway, it's still nice to see it back in that number 3 spot. It's taken out Tether. Happy to see that. XRP now $2.79. Bitcoin at 117,745 bucks. So mostly just more consolidation trading sideways over the last 24 hours, but we're not going to stay here. In fact, chart analyst Credible Crypto, he thinks this is the real deal, and I consider him personally to be one of the best analysts in the entire crypto space. And he's saying something here with high conviction that he does not normally say. Like he's saying this is the moment. You can find some fly-by-night analysts who every day of the week, whether it's up, it's down, say this is the moment, it's about to go about, and then you just can't trust them because it's just the same message over and over again, and it doesn't mean anything. And then you say it enough, and eventually it's right. Like clock being right once every 12 hours. So kind of like that. But with Credible Crypto, that's not the case, and he thinks this actually is the moment, in all likelihood anyway. Not that he can promise you that, and he's not. But look what he wrote here about Bitcoin. And this is important. Even if you don't hold Bitcoin, that's fine. Bitcoin leads the market. You should want it to do ridiculously well because you know that alts follow, including XRP. So here's what he said. And by the way, this is just in the evening. This was just a few hours ago, 11:24 p.m. Central Time, so just several hours ago. And he wrote, Bitcoin continues to look solid AF here. Not expecting any major dips as we continue to climb. At this point, if the idea is correct, we should absolutely not see $110,000 or below, and realistically would not even expect a retest of our range highs at $112,000 at this point. This bodes well for the entire market. Let's get it, fam. So he's not promising, because when it comes to charting, of course, it's all about probability. So anybody that says they know for sure, either they're just having a little fun in the way they're wording something, or maybe don't trust them because that's absurd. It's about probabilities here. And so he acknowledges it could go, or he does not think that. The level of conviction that he clearly has in this post, very notable. He is saying, like, in his estimation, this is the real deal, which means there is no more waiting. Not really. I mean, yeah, it's consolidation over the last day or so. We're not going to stay here, though. Like, this is the moment. And it's already, I mean, think about it. It went from like Bitcoin went from 108,000 to 118,000, in roughly a day. So yeah, expect even more fireworks, and you know what that means for XRP. And he does believe that in all likelihood, Bitcoin's going to be exceeding $150,000. And if that happens, I'm telling you, the way money flows through crypto, I I will not be surprised if XRP does indeed hit double-digit price action if Bitcoin gets anywhere even close to that. Not that it would even have to get that high to hit that, but that would be something that would probably clinch it. It's coming, folks. And by the way, Credible Crypto, he does believe that XRP is going to hit at least $10 this cycle, but realistically, he thinks it's most probable XRP will peak between $20 to $30. And by the way, as far as this $112,000 level here, that made me think of something the blockchain backer said in a recent video. He cited the $112,000 level as a possible level for Bitcoin to come back down as a retest. Not that it has to, but if it does, he thinks it would likely just be a retest, and then ultimately it would proceed higher after that. And I think that the blockchain backer said, if memory serves anyway, that Bitcoin may hit as high as $135,000 this market cycle. Here's a post from chart analyst Malleus, and I'm not going to read this whole thing. I actually might in a future video, but this post, it's excellent, but it's so long that if I'm going to cover this in detail, it would probably, frankly, be the only topic for a video, which I personally think it's interesting enough, so I might come back and do that. This guy does great write-ups, and I just found out about him within recent months, but you can tell like he's just got a good grasp, really good understanding of the crypto space. And here, I'll just highlight this for now since we're talking about this. He said, my target remains unchanged in this scenario, likely in the range of $15 to $20. And so there are tons of analysts that do believe that this range is plausible. And I'm not an analyst, but I'm just telling you, based on my experience and seeing what happens in the world of crypto, that is not crazy. That would not be crazy to see. That's absolutely within the confines of reality. And it could go higher, too. And I do acknowledge that. I'm more on the conservative side regarding my expectations and hopes for this cycle. But even I will acknowledge, yeah, it could go a good bit higher than that. It's true. Here's a post from chart analyst X-Force Global. And he was just mentioning here that he does believe that XRP can absolutely hit $20 plus. He thinks there's a very good shot of it this cycle. I do keep seeing this. And this is from analysts that have really great track records, frankly. And in the short term, we can still expect fireworks even before we hit double digits. Here's a post from Altcoin Gordon, shared this with his 782,000 followers on X. He said potentially a huge cup and handle forming on the weekly for XRP. Breakout target $5.20. You know, when we get up there, that'll finally be in the range where I'll consider selling a very small percentage of my XRP. Now, keep in mind, for me, though, everybody's got their own levels. For me, I've been holding for over 7.5 years now, and my average buy-in price is 25 cents. So when I get up there, it's like, okay, I got to start kind of phasing out of my XRP holdings here. And so, look, I may sell before a lot of you, but that doesn't mean I don't think XRP will go higher. Purely, it is because if I'm presented with those levels, it'll be too life-changing for me not to do something about it. Because even where I'm selling, even though it'll mostly be from the $5 to $8 range, I may hold on like to a small moon bag for higher prices. But I'll just tell you, like, even if it doubles for me, like even if XRP goes to like double that, say upwards of like $16, which I don't think is crazy, like that might happen. It would be great to double the XRP profit, fine. It's not really going to change it. Like the life-changing part will occur if I sell between $5 to $8. So if I double that, it's already life-changing. And then if I don't sell then, and it goes back down, it's like womp womp. So it could go higher. I know that's plausible. And I know a lot of people will be selling it at way higher prices than me if that happens. And I'll just be cheering you on. Like, hey, I'm a team player here, bro. I'm just saying though. For me, it's like, why risk that when it's already, like, if you already have the life-changing thing, make it real. You can make it real at any point. It's just numbers on a screen until you sell, and then it becomes real. So just, you guys decide what's right for you. I'm just talking about my general plan here. Although, like I said, I might keep a little bit of a moon bag for those types of prices, but the vast majority, if not all of my XRP, I'm going to sell lower than that. And I do understand it could go higher, and I'm not going to have regret if it does, because that's stupid. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to secure the life-changing wealth if presented. Like, that's what I'm saying. Here's a post from chart analyst XR Punky. He says, what if, just what if, we get an $8 XRP by end of July? Okay, that wouldn't be crazy. I know, like, just to be clear, there is no chart analyst that can consistently, accurately predict time for anything, even if they're accurately charting and they know what the chart formation is and they absolutely nail it. It can speed up, it can slow down. There's no way to consistently know time. But the cool thing about this is we are living in that moment where it could go at any moment. Like it really could just go at any time. And same for Bitcoin. And so then you would be in alt season. This is plausible. And I know that would be fast because we're sitting here less than $3. We still haven't entered price discovery in, over 7 years. But at some point we're going to. I firmly believe that. And historically, it makes sense that, historically the crypto's bullish in the summer on the 4th year of a market cycle, as it has been already. So take for what it's worth, but I think we're going to go higher, and I think it could happen sooner than a lot of people are thinking. Here's a post from chart analyst Dom. Excuse me. XRP higher time frame update. We have a breakout. Falling wedge played perfect so far. We will get confirmation at the end of this week when the candle closes. Acceleration should be expected over the next 2 months. So if that's the case, keep in mind, we will still be in summer, even if it's 2 months from now. The last day of summer is September 22nd. So we would still be in summer. Again, this is usually a dead period in terms of exciting price action. Not now. And you shouldn't have been surprised by this. I was warning for weeks leading up to this, if you want to call it a warning, that historically this is what happens. Not that we knew for sure it was going to happen, but I believed it was probable. And it already happened. Even if that were it for the summer, that doesn't happen most summer. It doesn't. Even if that were it and we had to wait till fall, it already happened. Now, I think we're not going to have to wait till fall. Let's be real here. I think for tons of reasons I keep sharing on this channel, we're going to see much more substantial fireworks sooner than later. But we'll find out together exactly when that is. Nobody knows for sure. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Michael. This is an XRP BTC chart, and he says, XRP just broke out of a falling wedge against Bitcoin on the daily chart, and you're still bearish? Higher. Well, I'm not bearish. I don't know who it is you're talking to. It's certainly not me. But he's right. Look at that. It did break out. That's a big move. It has been moving sideways and down like this in this wedge for pretty much this entire year after breaking out substantially in November. And so we're still well above where it broke out from in November. But this is why I keep saying. So XRP already put Bitcoin's little bitch ass to shame at the end of 2024, and it's not done. It is going to humiliate Bitcoin to a much more substantial degree by the time this cycle's over. XRP will have substantially outperformed Bitcoin to an even greater degree than it already has. Mark my words on that. You can quote that and put it on a coffee mug. Here's a post from XR Punky. He says, $2.80 is the level to watch. XRP could still reject at that level and head lower. Clear that zone. We should test $3. And so that's right where we are. Like I said, it was $2.79. It was actually $2.80, I think, maybe even when I started recording the video. $2.79 now. But, don't be surprised when we start bumping back up against that. I know that we rejected from that $3 range the first time we took a go at it the other day, but there was a huge sell wall there, and that shouldn't be surprising. That shouldn't be surprising to anybody. You just got to eventually chew through them, and I still believe that firmly that's coming. And he posted this, by the way, just a couple hours ago. This is 1:26 a.m. Central Time. Here's a post from chart analyst Steph is Crypto. XRP seasonality is on our side now. Send it to $10, $20, $30. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, as far as the price stuff, like I said, I don't make predictions. But as far as seasonality being on our side, absolutely. And isn't it kind of interesting that XRP's been consolidating basically half a year, roughly, and it's just now starting to show signs of life when that is exactly what happened last cycle and the cycle before that. Isn't that something? I find that fascinating. So he's pointing here on this chart at 2017, so you can see it had its first major move in the first half of 2017, this triangle right here, that's the consolidation for about half a year, and then it had its second major pump. That's what happened with XRP in 2017, going into early 2018. Look at this. It's the same freaking story here, folks. It's just consolidating, and now it already has started to break out of this. It broke out. It has broken out. I haven't found a chart analyst that says, nope, XRP hasn't broken out yet. Every single one of them that has broached this subject has said, yeah, it's broken out. Absolutely. And so that in conjunction with credible crypto saying Bitcoin, no, this is the real deal. It's just yeah, come on. This does seem to actually be that moment. I'm just saying here, folks. What an exciting time to be an XRP holder. I'm freaking loving this, guys. I am absolutely loving this. Thanks for going on this journey with me. I'm having a blasty blast. I hope you guys are having a fun time too. Like, it's so much fun when you've got skin in the game, and it's so satisfying once you've been in this for years. And I know that's the case probably for most of you listening at this point. You've been holding for years and years and years. It is so satisfying to see this. And although we can't literally know what happens, I feel like we're close enough. Like, we have a general idea of what is probable to occur, just in a general sense. And we're right there. We're actually right there. And it's just such an exciting feeling. And to see it actually materialize, and it has been, like a lot of the stuff we've been talking about, it has materialized already. And it's just exciting to see that. And to have a really, I think, a firm grasp of, in general, what could be coming in the very short term here. Man, it's just going to be life-changing for so many people, myself included. If it goes where we're thinking it's going to go, if that really happens, life-changing for me, life-changing for so many of you listening. What a wild ride. So anyway, it's just been an absolute pleasure and honor to be on this journey with you guys for all of these years. And just think, once we enter a bear market, we get to do it all over again. I ain't going to stop. I ain't going away. Get to do it all over again. I'll be ready, man. Buying stuff on the cheap. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say, all right? That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.